Hello, I'm Simon Miller, and welcome to the first ever episode of NowGamer TV, coming at you from Microsoft's X11 event in San Francisco, featuring the likes of Gears of War, whatever's next for Connect, and what the Halo Reach team's been up to is everything you need from the show and more. Hi, we're here with Rod Fergusson from the Gears of War franchise, arguably I'd say the most anticipated franchise coming out on the Xbox 360 this year. How do you and your team kind of, not only have to live up to this anticipation, but also the expectancy from the fans, who obviously, what fans are like, they raise it up each time. This is the third one, potentially the finale as well. How do you guys sort of prepare yourselves for such anticipation?
I mean, we're part of the biggest fans of our own game. I mean, that's one of the things that Gears of War was the first game that I ever spent 2-3 years on, and then played it for another 2 years afterwards. So we're big fans ourselves, and we wanted to make sure we were doing the franchise right, and that we know this is the end of this story, and we want it to go out with a bang. And so we've been bringing it our A game all along, right? And we want this to be the most polished Gears of War game that we've ever made, and that's really what we've been doing. And what's great with that extension that we got to September, with September 20th being our date now, is we're able to take that time and make work with the beta to get the polished multiplayer. We've been taking the campaign just up and up and up. Yeah,
definitely. Obviously, we're here today about the multiplayer, and you mentioned how you've got some extra months with to polish it as well. Do you think that will help? Because a minor criticism of the first two games was the multiplayer would come out, it was great, but there were server issues, or there'd be unexpected issues as we're all aware of.
Yeah.
So now is this one going to be sort of out of the gates and sort of, not perfect obviously, but much sort of higher than the other two was from the get-go?
Well, that's the intention of the beta, right? I mean, the thing is that we learned that when you take, we'd never done that sort of matchmaking system that before that we did in Gears 2, and so there's a lot to learn when you go to scale. When we sold 2 million copies in the first 72 hours, right? And we just weren't. Yeah, exactly. With 1.5 million people hit your stuff all the same night, it tests the system, right?
Yeah.
And so we fixed that through the title updates, and when the game is solid now, and we're taking all those lessons learned and we're applying them to Gears 3, and then on top of that, we're adding dedicated servers to sort of do away with all those issues. And the big thing for us now is with the beta, we get to test all that before the day. I mean, if we were to go out and say, okay, we're going to put out dedicated servers and data centers around the world, we're going to have 2 million people playing our game opening night, I wouldn't be able to sleep that night not knowing what was going to happen, right? So this way, because even if you test it at 10,000 people, it's still not millions, it's still not global, right? And so that's what this beta is all about, and that's why I'm really excited to get the beta in the people's hands in the middle of April, because they're going to be able to play it, and they're going to give us feedback, and they're going to say what's working. We're going to be able to tune, and we're going to get to make sure the data center coverage is there. And I just know that on the night of September 20th, people are just going to have a blast.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, you're adding a hell of a lot of new content into the third one. What for you is kind of the standout point, or what do you think fans will consider the highlight of all the new extras you put in there?
Oh, wow. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, for us, that's the thing we've always been about, is really sort of tuning and tweaking and just making the game, feel that much more polished. Like from the new weapons and the new modes and the new maps and even the new controls. I mean, the simple things that we put in now are, be able to tap X to pick up a friend, or hold X to pick up a gun, and just so that you don't have that sort of issues of the conflict of what your intention. Like simple things like that, but things like stuff I didn't know about initially, like where I wasn't sure that this was going to be a really spotting. The ability to click on your left stick and spot somebody in the world. And I was like, yeah, that's it's kind of cool. But it's now if I go back and playing Gears 2, I'm clicking the stick and it's not doing anything. I'm like, no, where's my spotting? And the stuff that we're bringing with TACCOM, where we've taken TACCOM and taken it sort of as a nice feature to something that's sort of mandatory. You come to a new map, you click the left bumper, and now you see where all the weapon spawns are. You see where all your teammates are in the world. So it really helps you sort of get acclimatized much faster, right? And that's really what we've been trying to do. Is we've got our hardcore, now we need to be approachable. Let's broaden it out. Let's make the objectives simpler. Let's make it easier to get into.
Exactly what I was about to ask as well. So would you say this is the most accessible Gears of War? To the point, can you see new players coming in, playing the third, and then going back and revisiting the first two?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's part of it. We're hoping people are going to sort of work their way up. I mean, that's why the triple pack came out with Gears 1 and Gears 2 sort of bundled, so that people can kind of get caught up in the series, and at least from a story perspective. But the gameplay is quite a bit different in Gears 3. Like I said, the controls have changed. Curb stomps now on Y. Long executions, you hold Y. So those are different. So going back will be a little bit challenging. I found going back and I couldn't crawl in Gears 1. Like, what? But I think it is the most accessible, and that's the thing that we really tried to focus on with our modes, like Capture the Leader and King of the Hill, is really make those objectives really clear, make the modes really simple, really easy to understand. I mean, we've made weapons like the sawed-off shotgun is made for the new user who doesn't want to get shotgun in the face all the time. You know, and we're going to be we're focused on that. Like, we can have even more stuff to announce later about how we're being more approachable.
Yeah, definitely. And just before we let you go as well, obviously it's always been billed as a trilogy. When someone finishes the single player in Gears of War, will they feel like nice and satisfied, or are you going to leave it a bit sort of open for sequels?
Well, I mean, we're not blowing up the world, right? So the world doesn't end. But we want to have an ending to a story. We wanted this story to have its conclusion, that people could feel satisfied. You know, I played it and put it down and take a breath, and then go back into it and play some more.
Definitely.
But it's this idea of, like, we wanted, you know, we've left lots of open questions along the way, and we're not going to answer them all because sometimes you just don't want to know the background of everything because that just ruins the mystique. But we do want to say there's some obvious questions about Mira and Adam and Marcus and Adam's relationship and what's going on with Anya and Marcus, that kind of stuff, and like you'll totally get out of the story.
So Frank O'Connor, almost as synonymous with the Halo franchise as the Master Chief himself.
Oh yeah, just as handsome and powerfully built. Yeah,
of course, yeah. Obviously you're with 343 Industries now. You guys have been working on Halo for some time now.
Yes.
Bungie have moved on. It's all about you. How's the Halo franchise been, and where's it going in the future?
Well, it's been amazing, and we're celebrating 10 years of it this year, and we intend to celebrate it hard with our community. We've got a lot of surprises coming up this year, big and small. We have the first map pack that we've made. Obviously, it's the second map pack for Halo Reach, and that's the Defined pack. March 15th, 800 Microsoft points, stay on message. But yeah, it's been a fun challenge, and it's been an amazing 10 years. And my job as franchise development director is to think about the next 10 years. So I shouldn't spend too much energy on that celebration, but I will anyway. And I think that the future looks really bright. We just released a new novel exploring the Forerunner universe with Greg Bear. And it's on a 6th week in the New York Times bestseller list. So the appetite for Halo is not only undiminished, it continues to grow every day, and we're hopefully there to satisfy that.
So Michael Wilford, Twisted Pixel Games, we're here with your new game, The Gunstringer. First Connect Xbox Live Arcade title. What's been the reaction to it so far?
It's been overwhelmingly awesome. I was just telling someone else like a minute ago that, you know, this is the first time we've shown it outside the office, and it's, you know, rough around the edges, but obviously we're really proud of it, and coming to show it, had no idea like what people were gonna think or say, because we're just heads down working on it. So the fact that everybody's digging it so much is pretty mind-blowing. It's awesome.
And why Connect now? Obviously it came out last year. Was it always your plan to get involved so soon, or was it kind of just the way things went down?
Yeah, I mean, part of it is the idea, right? Like the whole marionette game idea is something we've been wanting to do for a while, and Connect is the perfect match for that. But also we've been talking to Microsoft since they've been such awesome partners. They hooked us up with some Kinect hardware, like way ahead of launch, and we got to play around with it. The more we messed with it, and the more we thought about doing a marionette game, it just seemed to be a really good fit.
Yeah, and also, so did you have the idea knocking around, or was it actually Kinect that inspired the idea in the first place?
It was actually knocking around a while. Our co-founder, Josh Barry's our creative officer, and our art director, Dave Leung, they've been buddies forever, and I think years and years ago they were talking about how it'd be cool to do some kind of puppeteering game. And then once we started learning about Kinect, that's kind of re-triggered that idea, like, oh, it's a perfect fit, and then we came up with the idea for the undead skeleton, you know, and all that just started rolling, and next thing we knew, we just had like this awesome game we had to make.
Yeah, is there any trepidation being sort of the first Kinect game on, not only the first Kinect game on Xbox Live Arcade, but almost being the first sort of more hardcore Kinect game that we've seen so far?
Yeah, I think so, but honestly, I think the team is more excited about that challenge than anything else. Like, they're not thinking about, I hope we don't screw up. It's more about, like, we know we can make this game awesome. We just, you know, we'll take the time and make it good, and, you know, we're excited about it.
And whenabouts can we look forward to playing the Gunstringer at home?
Right now, we're talking about springtime sometime.
Hi, we're here with Lester Speight, the voice of Coltrane from Gears of War, and such thing as My Wife and Kids, and also the Terry Tate series. I think you know for which did very well. Was that just a YouTube thing on Super Bowl Sunday, I think it was, and it just blew up, became like a massive deal?
Yeah. No, actually it debuted on the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Super Bowl 37 in 2003.
Okay. Yeah. And how did you get involved with the Gears project originally then?
They came begging, and I said, okay, I'll do it. All right, calm down.
Yeah.
No, they kind of took the character from Terry Tate And
was it inspired from Terry Tate?
Yeah, it was inspired from Terry Tate. And then they came and with an offer, and we said, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, and how kind of sort of influential have you been with creating that character at all? Did you give your own ideas? Were you allowed to say what you wanted, or did it kind of just come naturally to everyone?
No. Gears of War, most video games have what they call a writer.
Yeah.
You just can't come in and start ad-libbing. But a lot of the ad-libs, some of the cool things you hear on there is me ad-libbing and just getting in the character. Usually I have to do the line the way it's written, and then I can kind of play with it and have fun after about 2 or 3 takes of that. And that's usually where the juicy stuff comes, the good stuff comes.
Before we leave you, can we have a Kroll Trey line? Just one. Anyone you want.
Train's a smooth ride, baby. Woo!
Excellent. Thank you very much. Absolute pleasure.
All right.